Hey, beautiful souls, beautiful sunshine here with DR Holistic Killer, aka Sonia B. So I am back with this quick prophetic message, and I know it's early, y'all, so excuse me. Anyway, so with that being said, let's get it straight into the message. Okay, so I want you guys to know that God had actually given me a message, and for some of you guys, you were meant to create. Okay, so if you have not, I know some of you probably have, and some of you probably have not, but really create and think about what it is that you want. And the way I saw this was, even if you think it's something that society would tell you that, oh my God, like you can't reach that goal, okay? Even if it's something like that, something big and extravagant and over the top. But let me say this too, because I'm also hearing Spirit say, as long as it's within your soul mission or something that you were meant to accomplish in this lifetime, it will surely happen, okay? So don't doubt anything and don't leave anything off the table, okay? So what is meant for you will be meant for you, okay? So again, think big, okay? Not small, think big. Okay, the other message that I saw was some of you guys have really dug deep, like really went deep into the soul, okay? Because the way I saw it was like, it was like a pipe in the ground, and it was like really deep down, like a really deep hole with a pipe sticking kind of out of it. But not only that, but in the end, all I saw was like all the dirt and like ashes, like from that hole. Like a person was just kind of playing with like it was more so ashes. So that was just letting me know that, some people have really dug themselves up out of the ashes, like the phoenix rising is what I'm hearing Spirit say right now, okay? And then some people have really dig deep into the shadow side of themselves, really done a lot of deep healing work with your shadow side, okay? Accepting all sides of yourself, the good, the bad, and the ugly. It is who it is. We are who we are in a sense, but God just wants you to embrace not only what you thought you were, but embrace who you did not know, okay? Or who you never took time to get to know, okay? Because we had been, just hiding a lot of things, by creating these false masks, and personas that we have put on due to our wounds and our hurts, things that we place in front of us, or how can I say it, mask as like defense mechanisms in a sense. So anyway, I don't want to get too deep in that, but anyway, so in other words, like I said, some people have done the healing work in order to dig deep, and for those people who are still kind of contemplating with digging deep in a sense, just know that sometimes you may find yourself, you don't want to find yourself being stuck, okay? So thank you, Spirit, as long as you staying open in your heart space, just staying open to God and just go with the flow and expect the unexpected, okay? You never know what's going to come out of that. That's what I'm hearing Spirit say. But you have to be open to it, because if you're closing yourself off to what you don't know, and I get it, because that's something that we've all have done, because we don't know, because we can't see. Remember, faith without works is dead, is what I'm hearing Spirit say. You got to believe, and you got to know, if God brought you this far, just know that he's willing to take you further, and he has great and beautiful things for you, but you just have to be open and willing to receive, okay? But anyway, so let me give you this other message that he had actually given me as well too. So over the weekend, on Father's Day weekend, and happy Father's Day to any father out there. I just basically want to say Father's Day is every day, to be honest with you. We all know that man had basically created Father's Day as well as Mother's Day and any other day. All these pagan beliefs, Valentine's Day, Christmas, and all that other stuff. So I say all that to say that, just know that you're not a father one day out of the week. You're a father 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a week, okay? So whether somebody is saying happy Father's Day to you on Father's Day, just know that that's irrelevant, because you are a father 24/7, okay? Anyway, so with that being said, God had actually given me the message on, I think it was Saturday. It was Ephesians 6:4, and it says, Fathers, do not, I'm sorry, Father, do not exasperate your children, okay? In other words, do not cause your children to wrath, okay? So instead, bring them up in the training and instructions of the Lord, okay? So don't cause your children to wrath, okay? So sometimes, as I said before, you guys are going to have to understand, a lot of these kids that are being born nowadays, and even kids who have been born the last 10 years. I know you look at these kids sometime and you listen to them speak. These kids has a lot of wisdom in them, okay? They're nothing but souls who have passed on that's being reincarnated in these kids. So do not dismiss these kids, as I told you guys before, because God can put his wisdom even in the youngest of children, okay? And some of you guys are going to start seeing, you know, that these kids that are being born, they're going to be doing things so much quicker, and they're going to be so much advanced than, you know, than we are as a society, because they're being born into this high vibration. They're already born into this high vibrational energy, okay? And when I say the high vibrational energy, I mean the high vibrational energy from God's source spirit. So that's where all the advancements come, okay? So anyway, we're basically almost trying to catch up. So again, don't dismiss anything that your kids are saying. Please don't. Because as I actually had to tell somebody before, someone who was older in age, like, just because you're older doesn't necessarily mean that you're wiser than somebody that's younger, because God has poured his wisdom out even into the youngest of children, okay? So please don't dismiss children. And if you do, you're just setting yourself up, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. But anyway, and then he gave me another message yesterday, and this one was Ephesians 5:25 and 26, and it says, as a matter of fact, he gave me this one on Father's Day. What a joke. It says, husbands, love your wives just as Christ has loved the church, okay? So the same way Christ loved the church, husband, you were meant to love your wives the same exact way, okay? For those people who and take it how it resonates, because I know it seems like a double-edged sword, and this message is not for everyone. And I say all that to say, because there are some people who are with spouses who are they're not going to be with in the possible future, if that makes sense, in a sense, because I say, and there are some people who will remain together, okay? It just depends on your soul contracts, okay? But if in your soul contract is basically, if how can I say it? So let me say it like this, it's the way Spirit is given to me. If you're in a loving relationship and you're looking at your wife each and every day when you waking up, or you thinking to yourself, oh my God, I love my wife, I love my wife. I'm not talking about you, okay? I'm talking about those people who are actually married to somebody, and they're looking at their wives like, oh my God, like this girl is getting on my nerves, or they complaining about, thank you, Spirit, they're sitting there and complaining about little things like, okay, the dishes aren't being washed, or you didn't clean this, you didn't clean that, okay? Because that means that two people are not on the same page, okay? It's considered being unequally yoked, okay? So with that being said, the message is for, again, get away. So it says, husbands, love your wives just as Christ has loved the church. And we know that Christ really loved the church if he really died on the cross, okay? For all of our sins, okay? That's some true unconditional love, okay? It wasn't just conditional like, oh my God, Lord, these people don't really care about me. Why am I going to the cross for them? No, he understood his mission, and he went to the cross knowing that he was helping us in the process. But just as Christ has loved the church and gave himself up for her to make her holy, cleansing her by the washing with water through the word, okay? So what God was given to me through that, just to help you guys understand, husband, if you are with your wives, you should be speaking positivity into your wives, not killing your wives with words, okay? So believe it or not, or even if you're not killing your wives with words, but killing your relationship with just words or negative thoughts, okay? Because you could either be hurting, harming, injuring a relationship, or you can be pouring life into the relationship, okay? So, but you were basically and make no mistake, the message is not about women right now, because the message came through as husbands, love your wives, okay? And I know sometimes that's hard for some people to digest that, because they're like, well, what about me, in a sense? Right now, this is the message that God is given, okay? And oh my God, and I'm gonna, thank you, Spirit. And I'm going to end it on this one in just 1 minute, right? Okay, so this is where God wants you to be obedient, because this is the message that he gave me today. But let me finish this real quick. So with the washing of the word, with the washing, with washing with water through the word, okay? So in other words, speak life into your spouse, okay? You should be speaking life into your spouse. You should be encouraging your spouse. You should be the same way you want it to be encouraged and you want people to pour into you. You also have to do that for somebody else. It's not a one-way street. It's a two-way street, okay? But nevertheless, let's end it here, okay? But Psalms 9, 1 and 1, and which I thought was so funny, because I felt like God was sending an urgent message by saying it's 911, right? Okay, you get that? 911. So Psalms 9 and 1 Psalms 91:1. Okay. So it says, whomever dwelleth in the shelter of the Most High will rest in his shadow of the Almighty. Okay. The shadows. If you think about the sun rays is what the vision is God has given me right now. Think about, thank you, Spirit. If you imagine sitting outside as the sun is rising, you see sun rays, right? And as long as those sun rays are coming down and the sun and you're within those sun rays, it's almost like you are under God's protection, okay? But anything outside of those sun rays, it's like it's not being protected, okay? So by you being within the rays, you're telling God that you're trusting him. Whatever it is that God is asking you to do, whether it's to be obedient, to do this, to do that. So yes, on this journey, God will ask you to do a lot of things, because he wants to see and make sure that you're going to be truthful, and because he already knows whether you're going to do it or not, okay? He already knows whether you're going to do it or not. So I say all that to say, as long as you stay within the rays, you are staying within the shadow of the Almighty, and there's nothing that you cannot achieve. There's nothing that you cannot have. So I know that sometimes we're being tested, and I know sometimes in the test is coming for our own highest good, okay? And I'm going to end on this note before I leave, and I want to say this. You guys know that I have been dealing with the situation from an enemy, and this has been going on for almost like I'm not going to say 4 freaking years. I've been living here almost like 13 years this year. I lost count, but anyway, I'm sorry. But nevertheless, okay, 14 years. I'm sorry. I got my daughter off to the side. But anyway, so we have been living here for almost like 14 years. So I say all that to say, like, the neighbors kind of had like this hidden agenda that we couldn't see at first and we didn't know about at first. But because God had revealed that more so within the last 4 years, and mainly the last 2.5 years, he really just amped it up and just really showed me. Okay, so I don't want to get into a long story, but I just want to say this. You guys know that I told you that I was just so frustrated as a mom to know that I wasn't able to feel like I was able to protect my kids in a sense, in a sense. Thank you, Spirit. And I just heard Spirit saying this is the reason why God is also asking husbands too to show up for their wives in a sense, because they don't realize this, but men are like a sense of protection, whether it's them physically being there, and they also spiritually, they don't even realize this, but a man showing up for his wife is protecting her or their family spiritually, okay? So that's placing a covering over them. And I'm not saying there's no covering now, because yes, there's a covering now because after doing the work. So it's almost like what man would not do because they were neglecting their duties in a sense. It's almost like God stepped in and gave the protection, okay? But that doesn't mean that a man is not meant to protect his wife in a sense, or put shelter and, a hedge of protection over their family in a sense, because that's what they do spiritually, whether they realize it or not. But anyway, so long story short, I say all that to say, to be a parent and to know that it's hard for you to feel like, how do you defend your kids when you see them being attacked spiritually by a neighbor in a sense, But I say all that to say that God had actually revealed to me, I guess he was saying, you know what, you were faithful, you were just, even though I thought, thoughts at times, not too often, but I thought, nevertheless, the point of the matter is because I didn't necessarily pay evil for evil in a sense, although I did say, you guys heard me you heard me say that, I thought in the sense of like, oh my God, like, just thought negative thoughts. And I'm sure she was probably picking up on that because I was just tired and frustrated in a sense. But because I didn't return evil from evil, throwing, negative energy, or just, throwing witchcraft or whatever back at her. The point of the moral of the story I'm trying to make is God, when you're faithful and just and just doing what God asks you to do and allow vengeance to be his. So I want to say this. Some of you guys may start to find yourself and see yourself spiritually protecting yourself in the spiritual realm from those who are trying to hurt, harm, or injure you, or who have tried to hurt, harm, or injure you, okay? So I say all that to say it's almost like God has gave you the green light, and it's almost like you may see yourself protecting yourself now, because I say all that to say because I had a dream the other night, and God had revealed to me that she was trying to come into my home spiritually. But this time she tried to come into my home spiritually, like, you know, acting like a Karen or whatever, trying to attack me. But this time I was able to, you know, it's almost like God had allowed me to defend myself in a sense. Okay. So I say all that to say that because I had remained faithful and I remained just and did exactly what it was that God had asked me to do, it's almost like he had granted me access to be able to spiritually protect myself in a sense, as well as my kids. But I really felt like my hands were tied behind my back at one point. But anyway, so I'm going to end it there, y'all. But I hope that message was helpful. And just remember to dig deep, and you know, for those of you who have not, and just know that as long as you stand within the rays of God's rays, in a sense, there's nothing that you cannot have. Okay. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Remember to get outside and walk, be in nature, whatever. Okay. It's important. Okay. But anyway, I wish you all much love. I wish you all much light, and I say peace and blessings. Bye.